In July 2021, we closed on 2 self-storage facilities in Tennessee for $1,075,371. Now in November 2022, one of them appraised for $3.13 million, and 2 weeks ago, we sold one of them for $2.125 million. So let's talk about it. These were classic value-add projects, totally mismanaged and ripe for turnaround. The properties were located in Clarksville. One of them is 2110 Golf Lane, and I'll put a link below with an aerial view if you want to look at that facility. Another one in Savannah, 935 Pickwick Road. Both facilities were in terrible shape with no website, no online presence, and an absentee owner who lived 600 miles away. It was pretty obvious these properties were underperforming, and why. The Savannah property was mismanaged by someone who lived on the site and likely was struggling from dementia. And the Clarksville property was even worse. The manager was living on site and pocketing cash from renters under the table. Clearly, the first step was replacing management and installing professional systems to get these operations back on track. Now, these deals we closed with a bridge lender, and this is how we presented them, and this is how we pitched it. The Z Equity Group was purchasing off-market 2 value self-storage facilities in Tennessee. One of them, Clarksville, was 21,724 square feet, and it was 234 storage units, and it was on a 1.6 acre site. Another facility, Savannah, was 14,600 square feet. It had 81 units, and it was on 2.97 acres. Now, both facilities were significantly mismanaged. Owner was 77 years old. It lived 600 miles away from Clarksville property. Clarksville property manager is suspected intentionally mismanaged the books, and Savannah property manager seems like has a dementia. Rents in place were over 30% below market, and economic vacancy in Clarksville facility was right around 50%, and Savannah property right around 40%. And they had no online presence, and they're only taking checks and cash. Now, turning those facilities pretty much very obvious. First, we need to replace existing management to off-site management, sign up for the self-storage automatic collection systems, install automatic gates and keypads, connect the software to leasing online, raise rents and occupancy to market levels. And Clarksville market levels 95 to 100% occupancy. And Savannah has a little more saturation, but has room to grow a lot. Now, in our debt memorandum to our lenders, we said we intend to hold Clarksville facility long-term, and Savannah facility, we're just gonna fix and flip it. At Clarksville facility, we're intending to do a facade makeover, install automatic gates, keypads, repave asphalt, install new signs, change outside lights to LED lighting, replace and repair non-working garage doors, convert property management apartment to additional 17 self-storage units, convert front building to climate control building, install security systems, and pretty much, repaint exterior. And for Savannah facility, we'll trash out small bay warehouse that was in the front, we'll repaint property manager's apartment, replace AC, seal coat driveway, set up web online collections, and self-storage software. We said that our total budget is expected to be approximately $1.5 million, and sponsorship is seeking for 80% loan to cost with an interest rate of 10% and 2 points. That was a little lower at the time, with 18 months term. And we anticipated our loan will be a little shy of $1.2 million. And we thought that stabilized value of Clarksville facility will be $1.7 million, and Savannah will sell at $425,000. Now let's talk about Savannah. We moved quickly on Savannah property. We hadn't greatly boosted revenue. However, we made some updates, new paint, sealed asphalt, replaced several garage doors, and added new lighting. And within 6 months, we sold this property for $380,000, which was pretty close to our expected $425,000. Next, let's talk about Clarksville refinancing. We finished renovations and got rid of our non-paying customers and filled with new ones in approximately 12 months, so I believe it was rather quickly. Once we stabilized the property, we hit 92% occupancy with approximately $194,000 in NOI. The appraisal came in at $3.13 million. That was at 6.25% cap rate. And I remember feeling that, wow, that was really top of the market. I thought to myself, if I were buying this facility on the buying end, I would price it at 7.5 cap maybe. And that would price it probably $2.58 million. So it was really great to see on paper 6.25% cap. Now, that was mid-22 when inflation was high, liquidity was really high, and caps were still compressed at the time. We refinanced Clarksville property in November 2022 with a non-recourse loan at 6.26 rate at 7-year term with a 30-year amortization. It was a really good loan. The loan was $1.4 million, which pretty much allowed us to pay off our basis and investors. So why did we decide to sell if everything was running smoothly? To put it simply, self-storage isn't what it used to be. First, my partner Shay and I started noticing some trends in the market. Institutional buyers kind of lost their appetite, aggressively buying self-storage facilities, especially buying on pro forma. Second, occupancies across the sector are lower compared to years ago, which kind of makes sense because self-storage is really directly correlated to residential housing, and fewer home sales, meaning less moving and meaning less storage demand. Third, on the top of that, self-storage sector had become commoditized. The days of finding mom and pop shops with no marketing, no web, and no management system is kind of long gone. Pretty much institutional buyers had optimized a big chunk of it, from paid ads, SEO, collections, online renting. And once these optimizations were in place, the simple 10 by 10 became a commodity, which is like gasoline. There is not much difference between two facilities. And from here, guess what? It's only competition on the price only. Next, we also realized that next step to keep growing would be just to aggregate to a big portfolio and then to sell big institutional buyer that requires pretty much 5 to 10 years patient capital, which our investors don't have. Most of our investors wants to be in a deal 2 to 3 years, so we have to stick to those timelines. And finally, 5, I follow a rule that I learned from my mentor Scott Shields. If you're getting 10 times of your annual cash flow at once at closing, you want to strongly consider selling that asset. So at Clarksville, we're generating $35,000 in cash flow a year after debt service, and selling that property netted us 14 times that amount, which was a signal to sell it. So all of this and all the opportunities in industrial small bay that we're experiencing right now said there is a better asset class for our capital and our time. So let's talk about the sale. Now, on the one hand, we had really handsome debt, non-recourse, 7-year term, but it really came with a very hefty prepayment penalty. So instead of going on the market, we decided to look for that perfect buyer who can assume the loan from us so we don't have to pay that prepayment penalty. So my partner Shay pulled all the deals that happened within a couple hours from Clarksville within the last 3 years. And after some calls and skip tracing, we got 2 buyers who were interested, and we negotiated a deal and closed with one of them on August 21st, 2024 at 9 cap for $2,125,000. The buyer assumed our loan, which saved us approximately $130,000 in prepayment penalties, which effectively made us feel that we sold it at 8.5 cap. So here are our takeaways. Number 1, refinance value and sales price are 2 different things. The refinance value you get from appraiser and the price you'll get when you're selling the property are not the same. Don't get fixated on appraisal numbers when you're refinancing. The market will tell you what your property is truly worth when the time comes to sell. And number 2, everything in real estate is cyclical. No market stays hot forever, and self-storage was the darling asset class for a few years, but like everything else, it's coming back down to earth. Occupancy is slightly dropping, and cap rates are still decompressed, and we're moving back to fundamentals. Final takeaway, I believe self-storage will settle back into historical status. It will remain a viable asset class, but it won't command the same premiums like during the last recent boom. In other words, their cap rates is not going to be in line of apartments or retail. It's going to be in line somewhere in mobile home parks and industrial, and the market is changing, and it's important to adjust to expectations accordingly. So that's the story of a $2.125 million self-storage deal and why we decided to cash out. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, please click subscribe button. If you really like it, please share the link with your friends, and I'm looking to talk to you on the next video.